1.
What are you doing?
I am looking at the emergency exit, just in case there is an earthquake.
Earthquake? What is an earthquake?
Any sudden shaking of the ground caused by seismic waves passing through the Earth's rock is known as an earthquake. Earthquakes are most common near geologic faults, and these are narrow zones where rock masses interact. The world's primary fault lines run along the edges of the massive tectonic plates that make up the Earth's crust.
Oh, so earthquake is the cause of ground shaking, ground rupture, landslides, tsunamis, liquefaction, and even fire. Once it occurs in a specific area, it can damage not only the property but life as well.
Exactly. Earthquake kill lots of people. More damage is done and more people are killed by the fire that follows an earthquake. Of course, the number of deaths is different from the property damage that a quake does. And the damage effect depends on the energy released at the source and is measured in magnitude.
There are ways to mitigate the effects of an earthquake. We must adhere to all earthquake safety precautions, and here are some things we should do before, during, and after an earthquake.
What should you do during an earthquake? Remember, drop, cover, and hold on. Move as little as possible. Most injuries during earthquakes occur because of people moving around, falling and suffering sprains, fractures, and head injuries. Try to protect your head and torso.
Why do we need to leave the building after an earthquake? Earthquakes can damage buildings and make them unsafe. After the earthquake, the foundation and structure of the building becomes weak, and it may anytime wriggle and fall over. Leave the building using stairs instead of elevator because it is possible to have an aftershock. Why you should use stairs instead of elevator when you are about to leave the building? Using stairs are safer than elevator when an earthquake happened. Elevator requires electricity to move. During and after an earthquake, electric power is usually out, which makes the elevator not to function. So using elevator can make you stuck instead of leaving the building. Therefore, use stairs rather than elevator because it is safer.
If you are in bed, stay there, curl up, hold on, and cover your head. Stay indoors until the shaking stops and you are sure it is safe to exit.
Next, be aware that smoke alarms and sprinkler systems frequently go off in buildings during an earthquake, even if there is no fire.
If you smell gas, get out of the house and move as far away as possible. Before you leave any building, check to make sure that there is no debris from the building that could fall on you.
Staying safe outdoors. Find a clear spot and drop to the ground. Stay there until the shaking stops. Try to get as far away from buildings, power lines, trees, street lights as possible.
If you're in a vehicle, pull over to a clear location and stop. Avoid bridges, overpasses, and power lines if possible. Stay inside with your seatbelt fastened until the shaking stops. After the shaking has stopped, drive on carefully, avoiding bridges and ramps that may have been damaged. If a power line falls on your vehicle, do not get out. Wait for assistance. If you are in a mountainous area or near unstable slopes or cliffs, be alert for falling rocks and other debris, as well as landslides.
How can you stay safe after an earthquake? If you do nothing else, if away from home, return only when authorities say it is safe to do so. Check yourself for injuries and get first aid, if necessary, before helping injured or trapped persons.
What should you do after an earthquake? Stay in communication. What happens after an earthquake can be affected your ability to communicate with your loved ones and emergency responders by phone. During and immediately following an earthquake, access to communication can be significantly affected due to the risk of widespread power outages, downed power lines, and swamped cell phone towers. Here is what to do before an earthquake to prepare. First, keep an updated list of emergency contacts and phone numbers. Second, program emergency contacts into your cell phone. Third, choose an out-of-state emergency contact that you and your family can get in touch with in case there are local connection issues and you are not with your family when this quake strikes. Fourth, have a variety of cell phone charges in your emergency kit. And last but not the least, subscribe to text alert services from local and state governments. After an earthquake, if you don't have an emergency, then use text messaging. Don't call your loved ones. Keep the cell and landlines open for first responders.
After an earthquake, the disaster may continue. Expect and prepare for potential aftershocks, landslides, or even a tsunami. If you live on a coast, each time you feel an aftershock, drop, cover, and hold on. Aftershocks frequently occur minutes, days, weeks, and even months following an earthquake. Look for and extinguish small fires. Fire is the most common hazard after an earthquake.
The largest earthquake ever recorded in the world was in Chile in 1960. It measured a 9.6 on the Richter scale. The largest in the US was a 9.2 magnitude in Alaska in 1964. They can cause huge waves in the ocean called tsunamis. Movement of tectonic plates has formed large mountain ranges like Himalayas and Andes. Earthquake can happen in any kind of weather. Alaska is most seismically active state and has more large earthquakes than California.
Benefits of knowing earthquake. Preparedness can help to decrease the dread, anxiety, and losses that comes with disasters. People can also mitigate the effects of disasters, flood-proofing, raising or transferring a property out of harm's way, and securing goods that can shake loose in an earthquake, and sometimes fully avert the hazard.
Now you learn what an earthquake is and how to manage it before, during, and after. Now is the chance to act. It's important to remember that prevention and mitigation are always preferable to rescue and rehabilitation. Remember to duck, cover, and hold during an earthquake. And most importantly, do not panic. This is Group 4 BSCE1A presenting what to do before, during, and after an earthquake and how to prevent injuries. Thanks for watching!